Washington football. Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle, and I am joined by my two co-hosts, Michael Hall and Michael Reed. But we are joined by the celebrity safety from the Washington football team, starting safety Kamren Curl. Cam, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Of course, Cam. And so the first thing I have to ask for you, Chase Young finally comes back. We're here at minicamp. But for fans that don't really know, what is the biggest difference between OTAs and minicamp besides it just being voluntary and non-voluntary?
For us this year, it wasn't too big of a difference because we had so many players come in for OTAs. So we was just like, we're gonna keep installing on offense and defense, since we had basically all the guys together. So it's minicamp and OTAs is not that big of a difference.
True. And yeah, you mentioned how you had I think they said in the media it was 86 out of the 90 people at OTAs. Everybody's showing up to mini camps, OTAs, stuff like that. What's maybe the biggest thing just from because there was no OTAs and stuff like that last year? What's the biggest thing that's pretty much changed as far as your odds from year one to year two?
Really, it's more helpful this year because last year since we didn't have it, everything was more at a fast pace. You had to learn the defense really quick. I was still learning from week to week, during the season. But since now I got the OTAs, it's more I can really focus in on the details and really get to understand the defense.
Right. Yeah. So safety has really become a position of strength for Washington. Of course, we have you in there. You're set. Landon Collins, of course. But how do you feel about Derek Forrest? How has he really transitioned to the NFL? It seems like he's making a play every time I log on to Twitter.
Oh yeah, I like D4. You can tell he just got football smarts. He's a football player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he getting along with the defense. He's asking questions, and we be getting them right. Getting them hit to the defense so he can be ready. But he's gonna be a good player.
Yeah, judging by the way he has played so far, Cam, I think you're right on par with that. Now, Cam, you came into the NFL and almost seemed like right away you were able to hit the ground running and really mesh into this defense. A former guest of ours, Bug Rivera, the defensive quality control coach for the Washington football team, we had him on and he talked about how you stepped right into the Rhino position and you did well. You came in and you did exactly what they asked for you to do. What can you kind of attest to what helped you transition to the NFL?
I would say I took my studying to the next level, the playbook and stuff. That's all I was focused on, during training camp and stuff, was just learning the defense and watching Landon and Shays and them and Reeves, because they were helping me out, asking questions. They was helping me. So just learning from them since they've been in the NFL for a little bit, So that helped prepare me more.
Smart.
Right. And obviously, everyone's been watching Terry McLaurin go off for the past couple of years now. He's a stud wide receiver. How's it going against him in practice every day?
It's cool. I feel like he's one of the best in the league. You know what I'm saying? We do a little talking. Terry don't talk that much, but we do a little talking. You know what I'm saying? But he's a great receiver.
Yeah. Now, Washington, of course, like we talked about, they've brought in a lot of people this offseason, be it rookies or signings. Who have you seen that has kind of impressed you? It could be offense or defense on either side of the ball. Who have you seen that you've been damn, okay, all right, I see what you're doing?
I would say the whole offense,
okay,
it's faster. They're doing more. It's more I just feel like it's more explosive. You know what I'm saying? So I feel just watching them, I like the type of plays they're running and stuff like this.
That is the best news as Washington fans that we've heard in a very long time.
Now, Cam, your position coach, and Coach Harris, everyone knows him from the Chicago Bears, and he had an opportunity to possibly be a head coach in the offseason this year. But can you kind of give us a look into Coach Harris as a coach? What is he like on the field and at practice?
Coach Harris, he's one of the best DB coaches I ever had. He's a real good teacher. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to teach guys, since he's been in the league and did good, he can relate to us, and know, because we probably had the same type of learning ways, you know what I'm saying? But he real energetic, during practice, he's taking off with us when we catch a pick. You know what I'm saying? He real energetic guy. But he real positive too. Like during the game, he's not just gonna scream at you or nothing like that. He wants to keep working. Have a short memory and get on to the next play.
Sure. Yeah, that's always like the best thing in a coach. Always gonna build you up, not really break you down as much. But Kyle mentioned how you kind of just came into the NFL, hit the ground running. So what are some of your personal goals now that you got the OTAs, training camp, all that stuff going into this year?
I don't really got like no stat goal right now, but I just trying to get a better year than last year. Like try to take it to the next level. Now that I show like I can really play, so just take it to the next level.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, Cam, on right now for you, what is like your daily routine on a normal everyday basis? Fans a lot of times like to see a player doing something like, hey, why aren't you working out? Why aren't you studying film? So if you could kind of give us a look into your, like, what do you do on a daily basis, especially here during minicamp?
Right now, it's pretty cool, like, daily schedule. Like, I get up around, like, 6:30. I get to the facility before 7 and just go get in the hot tub, cold tub, stretched out before practice, probably look at my playbook again. And then just wait till practice. And then after meetings and stuff, since we installing every day, just when I get back home, just look over the plays and stuff.
Hey, that's smart. London Fletcher, the Iron Man of the linebackers, he used to go in the cold tub before and after every single game. So that's a smart way to go about it, Cam.
Yeah. So speaking of linebackers, Kyle, how was Jamin Davis? Has he impressed you? I know that dude is just a physical freak of nature.
Yeah, he's like an athlete at the middle linebacker spot.
Right.
He like being on the field. Like I haven't been on the field with somebody like him, like 6'3" middle linebacker, who's running like that. So it's fun to watch.
Right.
Has he how has he done with like the playbook? Because I know that they've given him the responsibilities of calling plays and everything. Have you been impressed by his command of the defense?
Yeah. He's the one getting the call from Coach Del Rio in the huddle and telling us the defense stuff. So he's coming along pretty well.
I love to hear that. Love to hear that.
So, I asked you how it was playing for Terry. I know he's an offense. I don't know if you're around him as much because you're on the defensive side of the ball, but everybody talks about Ryan Fitzpatrick and how he got that swag and stuff like that. How's it like being around him in the locker room?
He's a cool guy, just being around him, seeing him around, how he interact with people. He's a funny guy. And, like, he's an athlete. Like, some people might not think so, but, he can still move. Like, today at practice, I was running with my hands up, and he kind of, like, side on the ball, like, around me. And I was just like, dang.
I love that answer. Now, Cam, for you, going back to last season, for a lot of fans, it was crazy, the turnaround for you guys going on a playoff run. That was awesome to see the turnaround that you have. Do you kind of have like a I can't believe this happened moment from last season where you look back, you're like, man, I can't believe that this actually happened and I did this?
Probably like most of the season, like making it to the playoffs my first year and then scoring a touchdown, my first year, like being able to start and stuff. Like it was a pretty cool season.
And if you could, for me personally, I'm sorry, Reed, but one play in particular, that Philly game, when you lined up against Ertz in the slot, you jammed him at the line of scrimmage. I think he ran either a quick slant or something. You ended up picking the ball off. Can you kind of like take us through that play and what was going through your mind? Because it was crazy. I didn't know you had the ball. It looked like it got incompleted.
Yeah.
It looked like a Madden glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I had jammed him up, and I knew like the slant was coming, how they singled him out. And they motioned the running back to the other side, so I knew it was one-on-one. And, like, he wasn't running by me, so I was just sitting on it. And when he turned, I knew the slant was coming, so I just, like, looked before he looked, and he threw it early, and the ball just hit me in the chest.
There you go. Got to be in the right spot. Yeah, there you go. Good players find a way to be in the right spot. So Kyle touched on last year about how you guys made a late season playoff run. Of course, you guys exceeded everybody's expectations. You personally exceeded everybody's expectations. What are your expectations for year two? Do you have anything in store? Do you have any team expectations or personal ones?
Just being me, like I want to do better as a team and like as a player next year. I don't want to take a step back, but I feel like we got it. We just got to play how we play. We showed last year we play how we play. We're gonna be a good team, and now we adding people, and then we been through a whole season. With Coach Rivera and Coach Del Rio. So I feel like that experience with them, I feel like it's just gonna keep building.
Right.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I know like all the coaches always say like, you know, take it week by week, game by game, but obviously a 17 game schedule this season. How you feel about that? And then how do you feel about the last 5 games of the season, that final stretch, all division games?
That I mean, like the 17 games is nothing crazy. I mean, the last season that felt like the longest season ever. Ready, I'm gonna be ready for the 17 games. But those last 5 I feel like that's gonna like show who's gonna make it to the playoffs or not. So it's gonna be the most like it's gonna be some important games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really tough stretch to have to go about. Now, I want to ask you, Cam, like coming in as a pro, you know, obviously with COVID, it was very different, you know, but for you, what is the difference one season makes for you? You know, if you think back a year ago to where you were and where you are now, like how much you know, how big of a stride have you think that you've made in one season?
I feel like I made a good stride, you know, just learning like more about the game, you know what I'm saying? Because like coming into the NFL, like the coaches, like it's a different type of knowledge they have, you know what I'm saying? So just gaining all that knowledge in from the players on the team, like I feel like I made a real good stride.
Yeah. So Jack Del Rio is one of the most respected defensive coordinators in the NFL. Has he really helped kind of push you along? I know that he seems to love you. Jack Del Rio.
Yeah, Coach Del Rio, he's a great coach, you know.
Right.
And it's like things like they teach you. Like Coach Del Rio will come and teach me stuff, you know, give me some advice, and from Coach Harris, like just getting all that advice and, you know, all that knowledge from the guys who've been doing it for so long, like it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And obviously, just like he said, Coach Del Rio is well respected. Coach Rivera is one of like the most respected dudes in the NFL, obviously in like all the coaching circles. How was it as a rookie coming in last year and getting to meet him and getting coached by him? And how's it going into year 2 being around Coach Rivera?
Coach Rivera, like he a great coach. Like I love him as a coach. Like, cause he's a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like he understands, he relates to you. So just having him in my first year, like it feel good. Like I got like I didn't have to go through a bad coaching, you know, situation. You know what I'm saying? I got brought into this one. And that's why like it's fun going in the facility every day.
It's crazy to hear about that. Hear you say that about last year with Washington, with how much went off in the offseason and all the off the field issues. But to wrap this up, Cam, this is the last question I have for you. Then I'm gonna let you go about your day. I know you have to rest up from practice tomorrow. But on game days, what are you listening to? Like, what if are you getting into a vibe? Like, are you listening to anything? Do you have any like routine or pregame ritual that you do for game days?
No, I don't really got no like ritual, but the music, like in game day, like you gotta turn up. Like I probably just listen to Young Boy, like straight Young Boy.
You got to get hype.
Gotta turn up. Yeah. I gotta run into people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go crazy.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Hey, Cam, I can't thank you enough for joining us, sir. I know you're very, very busy. You're very important to the Washington football team. I can't thank you enough for coming on here, telling us about yourself and telling us about the team. I can't thank you enough, sir. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you have a better year than you did last year. 88 tackles as a rookie safety, and you didn't even play all 16 games, Cam. That is impressive.
PFF's #1 rated rookie safety.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all y'all for having me.
Absolutely,
course,
Cam.
man.
You have a good night, sir.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We just spoke with the Kamren
The
Curl.
man.
Cam Kerr, cool as shit, dog.
He's the coolest dude in the world. He's just so chill about everything. And you love that too. From somebody going into year 2, just coming off of a huge year. He didn't have an ego whatsoever. He didn't have anything. He was just like, I just want to do better. He was like, I want to do better than I did last year. Like you love to hear that. And what he said about our offense, whew.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, who's the standout from either offense or defense? Who's the biggest standout? Actually, the whole offense.
Yeah.
Well, that's music to our ears.
Impressed with their speed. Like, if this offense can get going with this defense, it's game over. I'm sorry, but it is.
See, I was going to ask him a dumb question. I decided not to, and I'm glad
What
I
was
didn't.
it? Tell me what it is.
Would you rather be the highest paid safety in the league or win one Super Bowl?
Yeah, I feel like we know. Yeah, we know.
Of course.
Cam's
That's why I
answer.
didn't ask it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a good question.
Good, smart job staying off that one.
Yeah. You know, I just write down 20 and I just pick from them.
You're the question king.
I was actually kind of like impressed with myself. I was just taking all these off the flyer off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But
Don't tell them that.
I'm just
Me
saying,
too,
man,
Walt.
I'm just saying. It's been a busy day. I didn't have
Right.
a lot of time to play.
So it's been about a week since you guys were on the show. And
Exactly, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened. We had Rio on Thursday with Corey Sanchez. Can't thank him enough. That was a fantastic,
Killed
Yep,
it.
always kill it.
fantastic episode. But so
Yeah.
much has really happened since then. I think, Reed, you're gonna try to go down to Richmond with us.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I mean, it's tough right now with James and shit, with everything
Yeah.
going on. So
Yeah, me and Katie talked about it, and I was like, please, I think we could.
just let me.
Let me go that Saturday. I think it'll be all right, and I convinced her. So Hall and I are definitely going. I think Butler's coming,
Oh,
and I think Donnie's gonna try to come too. So it's gonna be a fun
Ooh.
time.
young goats.
Young goats,
Yeah.
brah. Young goats. Now, let's go on to our fan questions and would you rathers. And our first one is Tony Shivers. He wants to know, would you rather be a legendary coach or a legendary player?
Ooh, I mean, me just being the non-athletic slob that I am, I'm gonna go with the legendary player. I mean, what's better than that? But of course, I do also love coaching. I love everything that goes into that. I think that would be fun. But of course, just me, just being who I am, I would love to be able to have that athleticism. I'd love to be Cam Curl. I would love it.
For me, dude, it's legendary coach. And just because, you get paid a lot of money to kind of just manage a situation. Obviously, you're working a crazy amount of hours, probably like 12 to 16-hour days and stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the recognition that you get without the threat of injuring yourself and your future self outweighs the cons of being a player. So I would much rather be a legendary coach, and on top of it, to be able to help people, because like there is some sort of like fun in being able to like help people like get to the point where they can really excel at and be at. You know what I mean? So like being a coach, it kind of has that self-gratifying kind of thing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even really think of that side of it. Whereas, like, obviously, you have more longevity as a coach as well if you're going to be a legendary
Right.
Yeah.
coach.
Right.
But I don't know, just because like I grew up playing football and like I just like love playing football, I'd probably say legendary player, just because, yeah, it's like a kid's game, and then it's a game that I love to play. So why not play it as long as I can and become a legend at it? But
Right.
I do see the plus side, like you said, of being a legendary coach, because you do it longer, you get paid
Yep.
to just, like you said, manage and stuff like that. So, but both sides would be cool, but gotta go with the player side.
Yeah. And so before we get on, because I, of course, jumped the gun as always, and because Cam Curl's got me flustered, we are going to every
nervous?
Tuesday we have our segment where we count down to the start of the NFL season. And today marks 93 days to the start of the NFL season. So let's debate on who the best player in NFL history to wear 93. Who do you think that is, Hall?
Have Ari go first, because I forgot
Okay.
it was 93 and not 91.
It's easy.
It's John Randall for
Yep.
me.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
I
think
was
that there's
thinking,
any
but-
other answer
I know-
there.
I
I mean,
know
you could say Dwight Freeney,
Yeah.
I guess, but John Randall right now, I mean,
He's 7-time
Yeah.
Pro Bowler,
Dude, he was
6-time
an
All-Pro, 137
undrafted
sacks.
free agent too,
Yeah.
as an undrafted
Yeah.
free agent, like,
That is stupid. Absolutely
Right. Yeah.
stupid. For an
and he was on
undrafted
some
free agent.
fantastic defenses too.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, to give Dwight Freeney his props, 'cause even though I do think John Randall's better than him. I
Right.
will give Freeney his props. Where like he's kind of the one that kind of like, I'm not gonna say patent that like spin move, but he's known.
no,
for, like,
but
that
he's the one who
crazy
made
spin
it
move.
stick out, right?
And obviously on a team with Peyton Manning and that crazy like offense with Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, all those wide receivers, Dallas Clark. He was another guy that like stood out as far as like, oh damn, like Dwight Freeney, you got
Him and Bob Sanders, right?
Exactly,
Were, like,
exactly. Yeah. So,
They were like the
but yeah.
only two on that defense. Like
Yeah.
everyone
They-
always
they
forgot
held
about
it
their
down.
defense. Yeah.
And
he
he
was
it was
double
Dwight
digit
Freeney for a
sacks.
majority of the time because Bob Sanders got hurt early
Yeah.
on in his career.
Yeah, exactly. But nah, John Randall was a beast. Like you said, Minnesota Vikings
freak.
days.
Right.
I just remember he always had the like crazy face paint on.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to
He
say
was
that.
scary. He was
Yeah.
terrifying.
But
Yeah.
isn't there like some video of him that he used to show on NFL all the time on NFL Network where it's him like on the bench? He's like, like freaking like, like that's John Randall, just an absolute monster and a freak. But I do think Dwight Freeney does deserve to be in the conversation just because of the kind of career that he had. I think
Yeah,
it gets
right.
understated like how much he helped Robert Mathis. Because remember, after
Yeah,
Dwight
that's true.
retired, Robert
Right.
Mathis kind of absorbed
Stepped
the
up.
spin move.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, without a doubt.
He passed
Both
it on
kind of
to him.
undersized defensive ends that
Yeah.
we're known for their speed and quickness. That's the thing with Dwight Freeney, man. Like you talk about pass rushers that just like he was like one of the original like smaller one of these guys that just comes in there and he's just you can't stop him. You can't teach that speed, that agility, that athleticism, that bend was so important.
And it's crazy because like everyone used to talk about how Indy didn't have like a full equipped team, right? Like they just had a loaded offense and their defense, and like Dwight always got overshadowed.
I know.
But it was like no one ever forgot about him. It was just like he would show up in crazy situations.
When you have Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Reggie Wayne,
right.
I mean, Edgerrin James, like if that's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I said, the dude had double-digit sacks.
Yeah.
I'm not like every year because he had injury years, but I want to say majority of his healthy years, he had double-digit sacks every year.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up exactly the number, but it was like an insane amount.
I saw on Facebook today, I retweeted it. Not retweeted, I shared it on Facebook. But it was a picture, and it was like of the Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and it said which one of these is the worst quarterback in the picture. And I'll name them. It's Dan Marino, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Roger Staubach, John Elway, and Brett Favre. This is not hard. This is Brett Favre.
Yeah, like it sucks because like growing up, you always heard about Brett Favre, how good he was, and he was the man. Brett Favre was very good, but compared to those guys, sorry,
he broke the interceptions record.
Like,
come on,
man.
this isn't hard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He did win a bunch of MVPs, but it's I mean, to me, it's
I hate to give a Cowboy player props.
Yeah,
I mean,
it could have been easy to pick Staubach, but look, Staubach, he served our country and he played the quarterback position well. You can't hate on the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's get back to our questions, and this one from Tony. He said, "What are the chances Jarrett Patterson makes the team?" And I'll start with you, Hall.
Let's see. Obviously, Antonio Gibson's locked in. McKissick's locked in. I could definitely see him. I would go practice squad. I could definitely see him as starting off at the practice squad. They might bring him up due to an injury. They might bring him up like maybe he's progressing faster and like along than they thought he would. And I remember Coach Randy Jordan just saying the other day that they're really, really impressed how he catches the ball at the backfield.
Yep.
Like,
and they didn't see that on tape.
Exactly. They didn't see it on tape like that. They saw it in person. They were really, really impressed by that. So I could definitely see them trying to stash him away on the practice squad and maybe just coming up at some point in the season due to an injury or, like I said, maybe he progresses along faster than they thought.
Yeah, and look, I remember watching film on him, and we talked about Logan Paulson. I said, look, the one issue with him is pass blocking. And that's what was happening. And that's what Randy Jordan actually said in his presser is that pass blocking is something he really needs to work on. But I definitely do think that he makes a team. I think it's a 90% chance, Tony. I know that's very aggressive. Very aggressive. But with Antonio Gibson's possible turf toe injury lingering, that then leaves you with Peyton Barber, J.D. McKissick, and then Lamar Miller. Jarrett Patterson offers you the kind of versatility that they're looking for at that number one running back. So in case anything goes down with Antonio Gibson further, you have to keep Jarrett Patterson in your back pocket because you can't say J.D. McKissick's going to be able to get you those valuable short yardage situations that obviously Peyton Barber will get, but everyone will know why Peyton Barber's in the field at that time. So that's how you kind of have to move things around. For that reason, I think Jarrett Patterson makes the team. I think they're very impressed by this kid. I think them comparing him to Darren Sproles kind of is an indication of how they feel about Jarrett Patterson, that the potential that he possesses. And working with Randy Jordan knows his running backs, dude. I'm not going to argue with him.
Yeah, I mean, I completely – I don't think it's 90%. I think it's definitely – I think that there's a very good chance that he could, for real, make this team. And I think a lot of people would be surprised. Like we talked about, though, when you watched his tape, it was very obvious that offensive line just dominated. That scheme, the offensive line. So it was kind of tough to get a real gauge on him. Like, yes, he put up incredible stats, but how much of that was the O-line? Like, he didn't get touched until like 5 yards downfield. But – I mean, if what they're saying is true, I mean, then he's definitely a talented guy. And he's got a lot more weapons than we thought that he had in the passing game and stuff. So I could definitely see him making a team. I hope so.
Yeah, especially if he's catching the ball at the backfield. And
exactly.
That's shoe-in. That's why it's a 95% for me increase.
Right.
Now, our next one is from Mark Baxter. He said, what is your level of concern with Curtis Samuel having a soft tissue injury? He said, obviously it's early, but those injuries you hate to have those kinds of injuries with speed guys, the lingering soft tissue injuries. So how concerned are you, Reed?
I'm not very concerned. I think that as long as like during these practices that don't really matter, then it's just like, all right, just let him relax a little bit, let him get his legs back under him. But I mean, that's something obviously that, like you said, that with these speed guys could definitely linger. That would worry me just because I know our history and I know how I feel about something like that would happen. But I think he's going to be all right. I'm pretty good faith that he will.
I am concerned with it, especially with that groin injury. I mean, we look at it with Chase last year. Chase was obviously hampered at the beginning of the year with that groin injury, and he had to work back from it. And with Curtis Samuel going into this season with it, it does concern, because is he going to be able to gel with his quarterbacks at full speed? Are they going to be able to kind of have that repertoire with one another? And that's what I'm concerned with by far. But I will say, do I think that it's going to result in him not playing all season? No. You know, they're going to rehab it. They're going to make sure that he doesn't see any action at all. They're going to make sure he gets healthy by the start of the season. But you're right, Mark. With those speed guys, a groin injury could be death. Honestly, that could be the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If it was 1 out of 10, I'd probably go like a 4, maybe like a 4. Yeah. So just for the simple fact of it's still June right now. Still got a couple months of the season. Obviously, like you said, he can rehab it. He's the prized possession of the offseason as far as like the offense goes, just because how versatile he is and how he fits into this offense. So they're gonna sit him to the side. They're gonna let him do his own thing. What did I say? I don't even know what I said. But yeah, they're gonna let him work on the side. They're gonna let him get back until he's 150% ready to go for Week 1 against LA. And yeah, like I said, I would probably go with the 4, just for the simple fact of it's June. And you're right, these things do linger, but I actually learned yesterday that like strains and like tears that are like soft tissue stuff like that, it comes from like obviously like a range of motion type thing, stretching, but like that's something that he can incorporate into the off season as far as like yoga, stretching more like that. But it also comes from like some form of like maybe like dehydration. So
yeah,
maybe it's
stay hydrated, stretch,
just getting hydrated because this crazy heat out here we've been having for the past like week.
You hear that, Curtis? Go buy them yoga pants, dude. Hall says it.
I got them on sale, man. I could show you some that look thick on me. They look good. I'm like,
they look thick on me.
I got those TikTok ones. Have you seen those TikTok leggings that are guaranteed to make your butt look good? Yeah, I got those.
I don't even know what that is, dude.
You Google them because
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, it's a thing. I guarantee it. And you boys will be like, I'll just send you a picture of my butt.
Always
you
knows
guys
like
just
pop
be like,
culture stuff like this. It's so random.
I have to. I'm a DJ.
True,
I got to know everything.
That's true. It's a good point.
I'm a deeply closeted man. So
our good friend Jeff Miles reached out on Instagram last week, and I missed this one. But he asked us a really good question. He said, whose jersey are you thinking about getting next year? He said his past jerseys have included Darryl Green, Sean Taylor, Santana Moss, and Brian Arakpo. Of the new ones, he has only Chase Young. So who should his next jersey be that's on the team right now, Hall?
You already know. I got to go with my man Antonio Gibson. I got my I'm getting my Antonio Gibson jersey in the next week or two. It'll be here before Week 1. But honorable mention, because that number 2 looks fire. That De'Ami Brown jersey, number 2. Might add that to my collection this upcoming season as well. But if I had to give a nomination, I would go with those 2.
Dude, I'm biased, very biased.
I know where you're going, Kyle.
It's Cam Curl, by far. It's Cam Curl, by far.
Okay.
Cam Curl, a 7th round.
Going to say Steve Sims.
A 7th round pick. Kind of said that you weren't going to make the team. Ended up coming in, getting 88 tackles in not a full season, and being rated as the best rookie safety in the NFL. And we have that here in Washington. That's the jersey you want to get. You want to get the hard worker, and he just told you earlier that this man, all he did was study. He just put his studying on steroids when he came in. That's the kind of guy you want to get your jersey on because you know he's going to work for it. That's my thing. I think Cam Curl at this point.
You're trying to say the other guys
I'm also biased. I already have Terry and Chase.
I was just about to say you should. Does he already have a Terry jersey or no?
No, I think he only has Chase. But look, so I'll go Cam Curl or Terry.
Okay, I was gonna say you got to get a Terry jersey. You obviously look. I like all those guys, but also, hey, I'm gonna go with somebody that's not really being heralded as much, and that's Montez Sweat. Sweat. People forget just how good he is. Chase Young gets all the publicity as he should. There's another. I mean, Chase Young is a freak of nature. Montez Sweat is a freak of nature as well. Montez Sweat actually had better numbers last year than Chase Young, and I think you're only going to see this guy grow as Chase Young gets more and more attention.
Yeah, and that's a great one. I was thinking Montez too. It's really good.
Number 90.
My man Logan Thomas gets no respect. Now, my good friend that I've had for many, many years, he never asks questions for the show. He's basically my brother, and that is Matt Butler has a couple questions for us.
Butler.
Buddy has a couple questions for us. He said, do you see Shaka Toney or Jarrett Patterson making an impact and getting playing time at their positions this season? Reed.
I'm sorry, who was that? Jarrett Patterson or Shaka Toney?
Yeah, and Shaka Toney. Do you see them having an impact at their positions this season?
I wouldn't I mean, a minimal impact, but definitely. I mean, I see them getting playing time. Especially, I could see Shaka Toney going in there and actually playing well as a rotational defensive end. Because, like we said, they don't have any veterans behind those guys, and just his athleticism, like it was that's why he was drafted. Like they can do so much with this guy. They can mold him. He's going to learn from Chase Young and Montez Sweat, which is perfect for a freak athlete like him. I hope that he goes in there and plays well. I really do. But I'm not going to put a number on guaranteeing any of these guys anything yet. I don't know. I haven't seen him in pads.
What about Jarrett Patterson?
I haven't seen any of these guys in pads. I mean, if what they're saying is true, I think Jarrett Patterson has a legit shot of making the roster, making a real impact in year one. I don't know. I don't think so, but I think you could definitely. I mean, he could score a touchdown or two. You know?
Yeah, definitely. For me, man, I definitely see Shaka Toney being on the field and having plays. Having an impact is different. And so I will definitely think that he's going to get snaps. And because, especially in that Tampa Bay game, the playoff game, it was evident the reserves, and no disrespect to Casey Toohill or Ryan Kerrigan, but the reserves coming at that edge rusher position were very lacking in support. And so that's why they went out. They got Shaka Toney, William Bradley King. They brought in these two guys to be able to expel the other two young pass rushers that we have on the roster. Do I think they're going to be getting a lot of time? Yes, because obviously the other guys are going to get tired. But do I think they're going to make a crazy impact? No. But Jarrett Patterson, I do. I said it even after we kept him in as an undrafted free agent. I could see him being not the third down, but the short yardage back, taking over Peyton Barber's carries. He kind of has that full head of steam. He generally falls forward. He's shown they can catch out the backfield. The biggest issue is his pass blocking. But if I'm going to say anybody's going to make a huge impact this season, I think it's going to be Jarrett Patterson over Shaka Toney. Hall?
Is Hall frozen? Or is that just
he looks
face?
Frozen. That's so confused.
He could be thinking right now.
Yeah, he's thinking. He's like, this is a really hard question.
Hall, are you there? Are you alive
there
now?
You go.
I am back like I never left.
Right.
If I had to make a choice, like I said before, I think Patterson will start off on the practice squad. I mean, I think he could possibly make the squad, like just overall it's the third back. I mean, but I just think they'll start him off on the practice squad just to begin with because he's a rookie, still trying to get caught up to speed as far as NFL, and like he's way undersized. Got to work on his pass blocking more. So impact, like you said, I don't think he'll make that much of an impact, if any. And I do definitely see Shaka Toney getting onto the field just because we're so thin. After Montez Sweat and Chase Young, we're thin at edge rusher. So I could definitely see them getting on the field. And like you said, as far as impact, because impact would mean, I don't know, I'd go 5+ sacks to make an impact.
Right.
And you got Matt Ioannidis coming back. You can line him up on the outside as far as like certain packages with the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You still got Tim Settle, who is coming into his own in this third year as well, who can get into the rotation as well. So I know he's more the interior guy, but still, so I definitely think he'll get on the field, but impact, I think he'll make a play here or there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, Butler's next one is, this is a fantasy football question for all you fantasy guys out there. I know I'm a fantasy head. He said, is Dyami Brown a good late-round pick for fantasy teams? And I'll start with you, Hall.
I would say as of right now, I would go undrafted. He'll probably be on the waivers until he proves himself into the season a little bit. But, I mean, hey, if you want to, like, put him on, like, your watch list as far as, like, your waiver guy and, like, keep an eye on him throughout, like, I'd maybe say, like,
camp or
I say
training camp.
As the offseason progresses, see how he does in the, like, more of the mini camps, see how he does in training camps. Preseason comes along, see how they use him, see how he does. And I would even say to, like, week 2 to 3, see if they gets on the field, how many snaps he gets, stuff like that. But come week 3 to 4, if he's on them waivers still, I would definitely pick him up.
Yeah, look, because Hall knows this about me, especially with fantasy. Like, the boomer bust guys, I never drafted Deshaun Jackson. I never draft Will Fuller because their targets aren't guaranteed. It's boomer bust. Are they going to blow the lid off the defense or not? It's guys like Tyler Lockett, like Doug Baldwin, Calvin Ridley. Those are my types of dudes that can also go deep but also do the middle and interchangeable game. As of right now, but I don't think Dyami Brown is a good draft pick until he shows that he can do all layers of those route running, when he can catch all those passes, because I don't like banking on my fantasy team being on a boomer bust guy with those types of wide receivers. I never draft them. I like the possession wide receivers. That's what I'm about. Obviously, in the game of football, I think differently, but with fantasy, I'd rather the guaranteed points. So as of right now, no. But once he progresses and develops a little bit more with his route tree, yes, without a doubt. He is a great late round pick.
Yeah, I'm kind of where Hall is on that, where it's like you kind of just got to wait and see how he's going to be used. Got to see if that really what the role is going to be for him, and how much he impresses, how far along he is. But he's definitely somebody that I could see playing fantastic in year one and having a big role, and somebody that people are going to be like, damn it, I should have taken him. I should have known,
Right.
Washington and those third rounders. But so I could see it happening for sure.
Yeah,
But will it? I don't know.
I saw Crocker.
I don't think so.
Crocker put out today that he would have taken Diami Brown over most of the wide receivers in the draft, besides Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle.
What's his face? Obviously said that Diami Brown was the second
Chris
best wide
Collinsworth.
receiver in the class. Yeah.
Yeah, and so hearing that from Crocker, dude, from Croc Time, that's huge. Hearing him say that he thought Diami Brown was the 5th best wide receiver in this class, and he's a former pro, somebody who's a check mark and knows football, that should make you excited. Now, Butler's last one is a would you rather, and this is directed at me, because it's would you rather give up Texas Roadhouse for 3 years for a football team win, Super Bowl win?
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah. I love it, but no, bye. Be gone.
Everyone
Super
knows
Bowl.
my favorite restaurant is Texas Roadhouse.
Everybody. People that don't even know Kyle.
I could live at Texas Roadhouse if I could. I love
Hell
Texas
yeah.
Roadhouse. I've always
So
said
good.
it is America under a roof. It's America in
kinda
a
is.
restaurant.
Yeah,
it really is, dude. Every table is a booth. It's perfect. Nobody
That's
wants to
true.
sit at a
You're
normal
right
table.
about that. Yeah,
Thank you.
It is America. Good call.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's my favorite restaurant. My
They have
favorite
really
restaurant.
good bread too.
And yes,
Yes, they
I would
do.
definitely, and that's
Yeah.
how much I love the Washington football team. I would be willing to not go to my favorite restaurant for them to get a Super Bowl win, without a freaking doubt. I won't eat horse poop, but I won't. Not
I
eat at
would.
Texas Roadhouse
I
for
would.
years.
I would eat poop. I
Don't
would
do that.
definitely. eat
Don't
poop.
don't pull a Philly.
If it guaranteed one, I would do it. I
We
would.
know the first video to record once we win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. if they were like, that's what guaranteed it, the Super Bowl
Look
gods.
like
I
Will
would do
Fuller
it.
in Step Brothers, like with the
Yeah,
dog.
I don't care. But I wouldn't just be like, like I would actually lick it. I wouldn't even just lick it. I'd bite it, swallow it.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Nothing grosses me out anymore. Nothing. I'm a father. Nothing grosses me out anymore. You
Even
should see that
cicadas?
stuff.
Would you eat a cicada? You should eat a cicada on
Yes.
Thursday.
No. I like cicadas. I'll put them on a taco. I'll load it up. Take a bite out of it.
Load it up.
With
Yeah.
ketchup and mustard
No,
on it.
those red eyes, man. There's something about the red eyes that just makes me feel safe.
I had one land on my neck as I was walking in the house today, dude.
They're dumb. I
Yeah.
forgot how dumb they were. Like you're just
Yeah.
driving and they just like, oh, what's that in front of me? Like they've never seen a car. Like they didn't have those 17 years ago. You idiot bugs. And then you just smash them. There's like 30 of them smashed on the
Dude,
windshield.
seriously, dude, my windshield is like just blasted with them,
Yeah,
and it's
my
almost like
windshield's
they're playing
punished.
Frogger out there, and I keep killing them all.
It's just like,
Yeah.
don't make me go back underground. I don't care. They don't care.
Now let's go with Andy from the UK. Oi!
Oi.
The
Oi.
DC Tweet Team podcast. You can find them on Spotify, iTunes. They're all over the place. Make sure you check them out. The UK-based podcast for Washington is one of the best in the biz. His is, would you rather live without music or live without TV?
Ooh.
And I'll start with
It's
you,
funny,
Hall.
It's funny you asked that because someone at work kind of asked the same question earlier. Like, would you rather lose your sight or lose your hearing? So it's kind of pretty much the same thing on like a smaller level.
Hmm.
Damn. I love music and I love TV. Well, so I just lose TV or lose music? I just lose my eyesight or overall? Just like
No, you
watch
just
TV?
can't watch TV.
Oh, all right, well then,
You're taking this
yeah.
way further than you need to.
I know, man.
If
You
you
guys
choose
know
music, we
why.
gouge your eyes out.
Yeah,
Hall.
I was like, I mean,
I don't know.
you're looking like a
Probably
cicada right
TV.
now.
I'd probably go with music. I like music more, so I'll probably go with music just because music always can get me in like a nice like mood, like vibe, nice mood for the day. So I'll go with music.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Always got my headphones on at work when it's acceptable by the GC, the general contractor. So I'd rather go with music. I don't even watch TV that much, dude, to be honest with you. I'll just watch YouTube or something. I'll be okay with that. I'm more of a music guy anyway, so music all day. But I guess, would TV mean that I couldn't watch Washington games?
Yeah,
It would.
it would. It has to. But also though, I mean, what about music on the TV? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of
All
those
right, fine.
channels-
I'll change. If I can't watch Washington games, then yes, I'll go with rather TV than music.
Yeah,
Which is
if you-
unfortunate. I'll be very depressed.
I mean, I would just have to suck it up. I'm not getting rid of music. no chance.
Well, I mean,
I'll have to
your
give it- it can do-
occupation depends on it.
Yeah, that's true. You got to do so much for it. Like it does so much for you. It touches the soul. And I look, this is how much I love it. I would just have to go to FedEx, I guess, for 8 games a year, and I hate FedEx.
That's true. That would force you to do it. It actually would be an incentive. I like that one.
That's true.
Now, to wrap up our fan questions, we have to go with none other than the Colonel. He said he wants me to put this caveat in there. He said, please take a deep breath before answering. All right, you ready? You ready?
Oh no,
Paul, this is going to you first.
anxiety.
What the F is up with
Sweating.
Gibson's toe? He did not have corrective surgery in the offseason.
It's a good question. Only thing I could maybe say is maybe they told him you don't need surgery; it can just heal on its own, and maybe it's just taking a little bit longer to heal than they thought it would. And I'm hoping that's what the answer is. I'm praying that's what the answer is because I don't got the answer. Because if I could just get something surgically repaired, sit out for a couple weeks, get right back to training, and be 100% good to go, I'd probably choose that route. But again, everyone's different. And again, maybe they told him you don't need surgery, and maybe you can just let it heal on its own, and you'll be good to go. So,
Yeah, look, I don't know, man. Because we said on Thursday that we kind of talked. We had a question from Sharp Eye Washington. So let me bounce this question off of you, Hall. From 0 to 10, how much does his toe injury concern you? The fact that the injury
yeah.
occurred in December and we're
no,
still
no.
here now, and he's still a little coming back from it.
I will say Pat Mahomes had turf toe, and did he get his surgically repaired? I can't remember if he did or not. But either way,
It
was around
turf toe
this-
lingers.
yeah, it lingers for a while, and I think he got his before Antonio Gibson did. So if he's just now getting back to 100% and he got his before Antonio Gibson, I would probably go with the 3, just like with the other one. I'll go with the 3 or 4, just for the simple fact of it's June. He still got all of the rest of the summer up until September to get 100% or close enough to 100% for week 1. And again, if he's not really sitting out all the drills, he's still doing stuff on the side by himself. But if he's not sitting out everything, then I don't have any worry as of yet. But
I am not that concerned. I am not. I'll probably say a 2 or 3. I think I said 4 last week. And the reason why I believe that is because they wouldn't be talking about it and being public with the injury if he wasn't close to being over it. I know people have seen videos of Gibson at minicamp and OTAs and said, he looks a little bit different. He's kind of slower. Doesn't look the same. From what I've seen, the quickness is still there with his feet. It just might be a soreness thing. From working out the other day, his toe is feeling a little bit more sore today than most. But I really, truly feel like if he wasn't close to being done with this thing, they wouldn't be talking about it. And that's why I truly believe that it's not that far away. So, look, is turf toe a huge issue? Obviously, especially for a running back who has to take many, many steps in order to do so. Pierre Garçon, I know in 2012 played through a turf toe injury, and it wasn't like he wasn't productive. He was very productive. But when you're talking about
SOB.
But running backs positions are so much different than the wide receivers, especially in this type of aspect. So I would say like a 3. I do think that he's almost over it. I'll be willing to bet.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but since we all know that turf toe only affects you on turf, how about he just plays games on regular grass for a little bit, Don't what?
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
that's-
don't you love those posts when you see those like on Facebook and stuff?
Yeah,
and
people are so stupid. No, I'm not too concerned.
They just
I mean,
twisted
if it-
actual grass.
If it gets a little bit like if we're getting closer to the season or training camp and it's still like this is still going on, my panic will rise greatly. But until then, I'm okay right now.
Yeah. Now, his next question, I had to ask him for more information, but he asked, will John Bostic be on the roster next season? So I asked him, does that mean this season or next season? And he said, that's a good question, both. So let's debate this, Reed. Do you think Bostic will be on the roster this year? If not, do you think he'll be on the roster next year?
I think John Bostic will definitely be on the roster this year. I just think that the coaching staff really likes him, what he brings, the veteran leadership. However, 2022 is a different story. I don't know. I think right now that they just kind of like him to kind of mentor Jamin Davis and kind of help him out with the middle, help him out just learning the playbook, getting him up to speed in the NFL. So it'll be interesting. I do think that they like him, so there's a good chance. But will he be in 2022? possibly not. There's a good chance he won't be.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely in 2021, just for depth reasons alone, like with Antonio Gibson and Jarrett Patterson, if Jamin Davis goes down, they need to have somebody who can come in and play the Mike linebacker spot that knows the defense, that can call plays and do exactly what Jamin Davis does. So I'm not really that concerned with John Bostic this season. But next season's a big question, to be perfectly honest with you, because the reason that they brought him in is, he kind of fits what they've done with Logan Thomas, J.D. McKissick, the kind of low buy and getting great production out of these players. That's how it kind of is with John Bostic. They brought him in. I know he wasn't like a barn burner by any stretch as a middle linebacker, but he was better than anything that we had at the time. So definitely this season because of the depth, but 2022 is definitely in question because they've talked about building up team speed. They've been adamant about saying that, and I do believe that they're going to try even get faster next season as well. So unfortunately, I do think John Bostic will be out of there because he is kind of like your slower, strong side.
Yeah, 100% agree with both of you. I think 2021, he's already like 100% lock to be on this roster. So like you said, if for nothing more than depth purposes, and he can kind of be that veteran voice in the linebacker room, which if you really look at it, is a lot of young dudes in there in their first couple years in the league so far. So he's definitely got his role secure for this year. 2022, I feel it's definitely a different story. I think that they might probably let him walk in 2022. I know it's like super, super, super ridiculous early, but I can definitely see them going linebacker in the first 2 to 3 rounds again in the next upcoming draft in 2022. But just like you said, to add more team speed, more defensive speed, more speed of that second level at the linebacker position. So, yeah, Bostic is a lock for this year, 2022. I don't know.
No, I don't know either. Now, we got a couple more minutes, fellas, to kind of discuss things that have gone by. Did you guys see the Fitzpatrick picture that was posted today with the preschool kind of the preschool? So basically, he held up like a chalkboard.
So cute.
Yeah, they held up a chalkboard, took a picture of Ryan Fitzpatrick that said, hello, my name is Ryan. I've been in the league for 17 years. This is the first day of my 17th year.
My teacher is Mr. Rivera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My best.
They did it with
are,
like almost all the players.
Yeah, my best friends are Terry and
Fitzpatrick one
Curtis.
is the funniest. Yeah. The Fitzpatrick one is so cute because it's just this grown 40-year-old with a long ass beard. He's all cute looking.
Like, who do you think Cam Curl's best friends are on the team?
Today
is National Best Friend Day.
Yeah, Hey, well, it's
who comes up with these national days?
Funny that I'm here with you
weird.
guys.
It's National Underwear Day. Oh,
hey, hey, there are some people say that the most valuable ship might be a diamond ship. Some people say that the most valuable ship is a ship made out of gold, even though I think that would personally sink. But to me, do you know what the most valuable ship is? It's friendship. You guys remember that?
Thanks for that. Thanks for that little gem.
What a loser.
You're welcome. I'm so out of it right now.
I wanted to ask a question that I saw Tay and Todd post. The Tay and Todd podcast. We've had Todd on here and Tay a long time ago. We've had both of them on here, and they asked a really good question on Twitter, and I wanted to ask you guys.
They always have good stuff.
The replay from practice today showed Taylor Heineke escaping out of the pocket and throwing a touchdown pass to Antonio Gandy-Golden in front of Troy Apke. And they asked, what do you think the over-under is for games that we're going to see Taylor Heineke playing in this season? And they set it at 4.5. So, Reed, would you go over or under that 4.5 number?
I'm going to go under, even though we don't know how far Taylor Heineke's progressed, how they feel about him. I do think that they are ready to ride with Fitz for the time, for a long time. But how long has it been since Fitzpatrick's played a full season? I mean, it's not. But granted, he is always in the position where he's kind of saving the seat for somebody younger. But is that the situation with Heineke? I mean, they did sign him to a decent contract. So, but I'm gonna go. I don't think that Heineke starts 5 games. I don't. So I'll go under that.
I'll go just north. I'll go 5, and I'll go over. And the reason why I believe that is just because I know Ken Zampiece loves Ryan Fitzpatrick. He glowed about him today and how he's such a different player than he was in 2008 when he coached him when he was on Cincinnati, right? He's a completely different guy now, and he brings the kind of energy into the quarterback room, the humor that kind of gets the camaraderie gets that brought in.
You heard current Cam talking about him earlier.
Yeah, so I truly don't think that Fitz is going to be able. I do think if health-wise, I think he'll play all 16. But I'm putting the injury caveat in there. And I think Taylor would get the nod over Kyle Allen at this point. I think Ken Zampese in
Same.
his interview talked about it is Ryan Fitzpatrick's job and everyone else is fighting for the backup role. And so if that's the case, I'll put it just north in case of injury.
Yeah, I'll probably go. I'm gonna go under. I think the only way that it's over 4.5 is if the season's just a complete wash and they did not
that's the
live up
other
to
thing.
any expectations and they just come out flat and look like straight
And
poo-poo.
Fitz tragic comes out. You know?
Exactly, but that's the only way I would go over 4.5. I'm definitely going under just for the simple fact of, let's say Fitzpatrick has like a wrist injury or like a foot injury, something like that. I see him missing like a game or two maximum, like that, something like that. Taylor step in for a game or two, do what he can do what he does, and hey, that'll be a nice another little small sample size to see if they have something going forward in the future other than practice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I had to pick, I'd go under the 4.5.
Yeah, and one thing that I saw today was that Drew Terrell, the newly promoted wide receivers coach for the Washington football team, had an interview, and he talked about Cam Sims. And in particular, he said Cam Sims was the glue of the wide receivers last season. And we talked about right after the season that I felt that Cam had earned himself a roster spot. And that kind of admiration from his wide receiver coach is going to tell me that Cam Sims is going to be on the roster and has that fourth wide receiver slot spot taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think Cam Sims is going to make the roster. I think he's going to make the roster, Falker.
I will
I
say
think
that
he's almost a lock.
I do think that Adam Humphries could be one that's cut. I feel like
So do I. That's what, like, we talked about it. The first time we talked about it, I was like, no, well, Humphries is guaranteed to make it. But then, like, I thought about it after the episode, like, and I was just kind of like, wait a minute, Humphries might not be guaranteed a spot. Like, I like the dude a lot. I think he will probably make it, but I think Cam Sims has a better shot of making it than him.
because they have these younger guys here, and they have to
right.
make a decision on
And they're
practice
similar
squad, and there's
to
a
him.
possibility that they'll get taken
Right.
away. I mean, Drew Terrell even talked about how Dax Milne and Diami Brown coming in, they're like hitting the ground running. And
Right.
he's saying that there's not much really that I have to teach them at this point. They're just
Right.
going and doing well, and it's really impressive. It's almost like they've been pros for years. If you allow them to get onto the practice squad, there's a chance a team could take them. So in my thinking, they're going to have to make that decision of, do we want the veteran presence giving away younger talent, or do we keep the younger talent and give away the older leadership in case of injury? And that's a big question. But
Yeah.
that's just how I feel.
I think it's going to come down to him and Dax Milne, just for the simple fact of
You can only
Which
have
one
one
can-
white
which
wide
one can-
receiver.
yeah. Well, yeah, that too. But which one can play? Well, obviously they both play the slot, but which one can contribute more on punt return?
I
Because
was about to
obviously,
say Humphries returns punts.
yeah, he's a punt returner. He can kick return as well, but obviously punt
Great
return
point,
has
Hall.
been
Yeah.
a huge thing of need for this team. We need a returner for the past X amount of years. I know Isaiah Wright is so. I have a little bit more faith in Humphries at this point because I've seen Humphries do it more. But I think that if Dax Milne can progress a lot faster than they think he can, I guess, like you said, he hit the ground running. If he can continue that and he can show that he can outlast Humphries on punt return, I think that he takes Humphries' spot. And
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing is they can put Milne on practice squad. It's just does he do good enough to where you don't want to put him on practice
Right.
squad because he knows he's just going to get scooped up or what?
Zach Wilson might be like, "Yo, bring my boy up to New York."
Exactly. Right. Bring my.
Exactly.
We need more Mormons up in New York. We don't have enough of them out there.
We need more Mormons in New York.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, last thing I wanted to talk about, give some respect to, the assistant offensive line coach had an interview today, and he talked about Sam Cosmi and how he's strong at the point of attack and how well he's doing. And the kind of feeling is that he's going to be starting this season at right tackle, which is music to my ears. But the setup today was the starting lineup for offensive line was Charles Leno, Wes Schweitzer, Chase Ruyer, Brandon Sheriff, and then Cornelius Lucas at right tackle. I think that's shoe-in. That's great. I still think that left guard spot's up to chance and possibly getting taken with Sadiq Charles because he was also taking reps at tackle today. And they talked about how athletically gifted he is, and everyone knows that by the size of his calves.
Dude, the guy, I don't say this about a lot of guys that aren't running backs, but the guy's got fantastic legs. And Sam Cosmi's just a dancing bear. The guy is a bear and like one of those, like I'm sold. Get that boy some honey and let's go. Let's do it.
I really hope that Cosmi does get a lot of playing
I
time
bet
this season.
Cosmi's hairy with his shirt off.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
He's
gotta
a
be.
man.
Hairy, yeah, oh yeah, hairy back, hairy stomach. He's Italian too, I think. So, oh yeah, he's definitely hairy.
Yeah, definitely hairy. All right, everybody, that's gonna wrap us up for this episode. I want to thank special thanks to Kamren Curl for coming on and joining us, taking time out of his day. Very busy guys in the middle of minicamp. He's coming and joining us. Thank you, Kamren. That was fantastic, sir. You are great. Thank you to everyone for your fan question, Would You Rathers. Thank you, Jeff Miles. Thank you, Butt. Thank you, Colonel, Andy. Thank you to everyone else who obliged, Tony Shivers and Mark
Christina
Baxter.
Aguilera on.
You guys
thank
always,
you all.
you guys give us too much support. You guys always support
Yes,
us, and we
you guys
can't
do
thank you
so.
enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We will see you on Thursday. Make sure you guys do not miss that episode. It is going to be a riot. All right, everybody. I'm Kyle.
Cool?
Not after Jake Paul whatever lost or Logan Paul whatever. The hell. I don't know.
Yeah, neither one of them have lost, unfortunately. You know, I want to take them to Denny's and order them a grand slam. Just go up there and slam them both. I'm winning. I'm challenging them both. I'm winning.
All right, everybody. I'm Kyle.
I'm Hall.
You know who I am. You don't even gotta ask, dude. Don't even ask. You know who I am.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday. Washington football. Woo! What's up, everyone? This is Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. We are releasing our own merch to support the show. If you want to rock the Burgundy Zone logo or you want to see Reed's face on your shirt, we got it. We're starting with t-shirts, hoodies, and zip-up. So if you're a fan of the show, make sure you snag one before they are gone. Check out the link in our bio on Instagram, or you can find the link in the description of the video. Thanks again for all your support. Until next time. Washington football. Woo!